I don't know what y'all know about mermaids, but let me tell y'all my parts that I grew up hearing. I'm from Jamaica, and most of the Caribbeans like Haiti, Guyana, Jamaica, places like that, you hear about mermaids a lot. There's this bridge in Jamaica called Flat Bridge. People have been saying for a while that that's where all the mermaids stay at. In Jamaica, mermaids are called river mermaids. People will say that if the water at Flat Bridge turns green, that means that somebody's going to get pulled in the water by a mermaid. People will say that the mermaids will come out and sit on rocks and comb their hair. They say that if you see her while she's combing her hair, she would dip off in the water, or she will put you in a trance and drag you into the water into her kingdom. If she do drag you into her kingdom, you will become a slave for her. Or if she dip off in the water and leave her golden comb behind, the person who finds her golden comb will become rich. And she will basically get in contact with that person throughout a dream while they're sleeping, where she will lead them to her kingdom and keep them as her slave. If y'all want part 2, let me know in the comments. So they get a dream from her. She tells them where the treasure is underneath the water. But this is a lie I heard. She just want to capture them to be her slave. Some people have tried to take pictures of her, but everybody who tried ended up in the hospital or dead. It is also said that the river Muma is the mother of all the fishes in the water. And if they was to ever eat or capture any one of the fishes in the water, she would dry the water up and take all the fishes with her, which is her children. Another story is that if you were supposed to be walking past the bridge and you see a gold table slowly rising up to the surface, don't go to get it. That is the mermaid trying to get you into the water so she can take you underneath in her kingdom. Mostly everything has to do with gold and jewelry because that is what they like. If they capture you, they would then take you underneath the water where they would kiss you so you could breathe underneath the water. And they will use you as a slave. I have a lot more to say, so tell me if y'all want part 3. Let's talk more about the bridge. Every time they would try to build rails for the bridge, because the bridge don't have any, as you can tell right there, it don't have no fences, nothing. So because of that, a lot of people die there, which they believe is the mermaid's fault. And every time they would try to build railings for the bridge, the water overflows high up to the road of the bridge and wash away the railings, stuff like that. In other case, people say that the mermaid saved their life because there's so many accidents that happen at that one place. Cars went overboard, and people would say that they were saved by a mermaid. Now back to the comb. After she gives whoever find the comb a dream, she will tell them where the treasure is underwater. The treasure is the treasure that pirates had left a while back. Other stories say that that's fake and she will kidnap you. The mermaids mostly go after children, which is why they were told to stay away from the water at a certain time. When the kids were caught, they used them as slaves or sometimes even sold them to other mermaids. I don't have enough time, but tell me if y'all want. Sorry I didn't post early, I fell asleep. Let's talk more about this bridge. Residents that live close to the bridge would say that when they go to the bar, they would see a fish-like creature go and sit on the boulder of the bridge. And when they made noise, the fish would then jump back into the water. A group of fishermen would always go there to fish, and they would say that when they go there, they would see a big, ugly, mermaid-like creature with big ugly eyes. They would try to shoot at it, but they would never get it. But they did get scales from the mermaid. One of the fishermen carried the scales home, where he was then met in his dream by a fallen angel, and he became really sick. The sick fisherman told the rest of them to never go back there for fishing, but 2 of them never listened, and they went back there the next day to try to capture the mermaid. While they was there for a very long time, one of the friends decided to go home, and the other one stayed, and he told a friend that if he didn't come back up by noon, then that was his fate. 3 days later, he was found dead floating. Come back for part 5. Now let's keep talking about that bridge. Not only do people believe that there's mermaids there, but Jamaicans also think that duppies are there. Now let me tell you what duppies are. Duppies are basically like ghosts. Those are basically like spirits. Let me know if y'all want me to tell y'all about that later. People think that a lot of supernatural powers exist in the area. There's a cotton tree by the end of the bridge. Now if you're Jamaican, you know what a cotton tree symbolizes in our culture. People travel from all over the world to go to that one cotton tree to perform rituals. They will see a lady come from Port Antonio, sacrifice stuff under the cotton tree. She will kill cows and goats and then throw rice and rum there. She would do that to sacrifice the animal for everybody else because she said she got a vision in her dream. And if she did not do that ritual, then a lot more people would die at the river because the mermaids would be mad, or duppies or whatever. Come back for part 6. I'm gonna show y'all a few pictures and I'm gonna see if y'all understand. Then I'm gonna explain them to y'all. Alright, this is one of them. This is the other. This is another. This right here is another one. And this is the end of the story. Now, I don't know who created this story, but those pictures are very powerful. Basically what that is, if you don't already understand, a female mermaid transforms into a female human. She then strips her clothes off and tempts the man into following her. Once he get into the water, she then snatch him up, like I said, and bring him to her kingdom, where he would then become a slave, get her pregnant, or marry her. This is what they would do to men while they're passing by. Or they would just snatch you up, point blank, period. Now, back to the cotton tree and gold. I'm gonna make a separate story time on that. But like I said, a person would go there and sacrifice animals. And that would just be so that a lot of people don't die. Because in December, a lot of people in accidents happen at Flatbread. And a whole lot of people would die. Alright, y'all, part 7. At times when you do see them, they would sing to you before they eat you or before they kidnap you. Their singing would sound like sirens. You can fall in a trance. They would sometimes pull overboard trucks and cars into the bridge. Those trucks and cars was never found again. Another story is that quicksand is in the water. The story of this mermaid is being traced back to Africa when a transatlantic slave trade was going on. Some people will go to the mermaid and sacrifice animals to her for protection to cross her river or for protection from having a drought. Now, back to the gold table. The gold table is believed to be underneath the bridge, deep into the water. The golden table then rises to the top of the surface on hot days in Jamaica. It's mostly rising to the top for greedy people. She put it to the top to lure greedy people in because she know that they would try to take it for themselves. If they do try to take the table, they will then be pulled into the water. Come back about a duppy. Basically what that is the spirit of a dead person that did not do good on earth. Basically a dead demon. Because if it was a heaven or angel, it would not be back on earth. Period. According to Jamaicans, people have 2 souls. One soul is for the good they done on earth that goes back up to God. One soul is the soul that is left on earth, the bad soul. When you die, the good spirit will go to God and await judgment, while the bad spirit will stay in your body for 3 days. After 3 days pass, the body will then arise from the grave, where it would then be turned into a duppy. Now that could be avoided, but I'm gonna tell y'all that later. According to everybody else, duppies are basically everywhere. They live with you, they smoke, they drink, they talk, they laugh, they sing, all of that. But you won't know that they're there. They usually congregate at the branches of a cotton tree. You said if you're Jamaican, you know what a cotton tree symbolizes. Duppies can transform into anything. A person that died, an animal, anything. Come back for part 8. Some mermaids are used to kidnap you so that they can teach you black magic, aka voodoo. Some say that when a mermaid asks you to do stuff, you're supposed to do the complete opposite. Because if you do the right thing, they will forever keep you as a slave. But if you do the wrong thing, then they will send you back or kill you. They aren't nice, pretty people that y'all see on TV. They're ugly. They have sharp teeth, sharp tail, big ugly eyes, long black hair. It's half human, half fish, like y'all know. Some people have stories of being saved by the mermaid, like when the cars were being pulled over in Flatbread. Some people believe that those are the duppies that did that and that wasn't the mermaid. Because some people's stories actually say that while something was pulling the car over into the river, they would see light and a mermaid would come and save them and bring them up to the surface. Most people would go and sell their kid or sacrifice their kid that the mermaids could give them power or protection. Some would be able to get their kids back, but that's only if they listen to the mermaid. Tell me if y'all want part 2. Duppies aren't good. They're usually evil. They are very threatening beings. Duppies can harm and kill people. They can steal and harm people. People can ask duppies to harm other people by mixing up a whole bunch of other shit with rice and rum. Leave it at the roots of a cotton tree. Like I said, cotton trees are used for a lot of stuff that's evil and have to do with voodoo. After they leave it at the tree for the duppy, they will come back the next day so they can tell the duppy what to do. Sometimes people will even turn into a duppy so that they can have their revenge on the people that they don't like or the people that they want to do something to. You can catch duppies into a bottle until they want to set it on somebody. An attacking duppy could be stopped by throwing peas or sand or rice on the ground, because the W will be contained to count the grain. W's can be expelled from people's houses from burning cow dung mixed with pieces of horn and huff. There's 7 recurring types of malicious W's. These W's are the rolling cow. If y'all want part 3.
I know I'm not home, but I wanted to give y'all a video since I posted today. And y'all wanted part 9, so some people who deal with voodoo will go to the mermaids and sacrifice stuff to them so that the mermaids could take certain people that they were beefing with. They will take people, kids, mothers, cousins, everything. They don't care. And those people sometimes will never be heard from again. Years, months, decades, you will never hear from them again unless the mermaids decide to bring them back, which is very rare. Some people who practice voodoo would serve the mermaids as their gods. It's a cotton tree by the end of the bridge that they would do all their sacrifices at, where they would sacrifice cows, goats, any animal basically, just so they could receive what they want from the mermaids. Y'all gotta come back for part 10 because I gotta go for real.
This part 10. I know I waited too long to get y'all this part, being stingy, but it's here. Alright, and this part is just gonna be about answering most of y'all questions, okay? Now, the golden table. Golden table rises to the top of the surface. Hot days in Jamaica. It's basically there to lure greedy people in to see if they will try to take the table for themselves. Now, if they do, slaves or mermaids will then pull the golden table and the person will then, be forced to be dragged into the water and die. Now, for the good mermaids, there's a lot of stories that circulate about Flatbridge that there are good mermaids there too. Some people say that slaves who built the bridge are haunting people by pulling them into the river while they're passing by. And while they were being pulled into the river and drowning, mermaids would be lifting them up to the surface to make sure that they're okay, or basically rescue them from drowning. I have a list, so if y'all can hear me, that's why. Come back for part 11. Alright, so as y'all know, you meet the mermaid put you in a trance, the mermaid leads you to your death, or she take you as a slave for her kingdom, etc., etc. Went over all of that. Well, I see a lot of questions like, why can't they just capture the mermaid, kill the mermaid, etc., etc. They cannot do that, because if they do kill the mermaid or take the mermaid, all the fishes in the river would disappear. In the Caribbean, people use the rivers to fish for food. No food, starvation. Starvation, death. So because of that, nobody has ever tried to get a mermaid. Sometimes the mermaid only let people with good intentions cross her river. If you have bad intentions, you will either be drowned or she will force you to turn back around. Now y'all want me to show y'all the bridge so bad. This is the picture, another one, and this is the last one. Like I said, the bridge have no railings. Come back for part 12.